No matter how much success you have in your life, do you still struggle with self-esteem? Do you still wake up and even though you've accomplished so much, you wonder if you're worthy? So, my name is Sylvia Mordini and this is part of the Inspire series. Here are 4 habits to help you improve your self-esteem. This is something that is so inherent within us, and yet it's so difficult to maintain because it requires constant sensitive adjustments in order to buoy and boost our self-esteem and to look out for those pitfalls that take us down. So overall, the 4 habits are, and then we'll dive into them deeper, are number 1, to surround yourself with people that will uplift you, that believe in you, believe in your possibilities and your greatest potentiality. They see the best in you. Number 2, keep your promises to yourself. No matter what those are from you to you, make sure that you're maintaining those promises. Number 3, stay true to what you value. Your ethical code, those things that are non-negotiables to you, are so vitally important to maintain for positive self-esteem. And then finally, number 4, be gentle in the way that you speak to yourself. We accept so much more from ourselves in negative self-talk than we would ever accept from somebody else, bemoaning us or speaking to us in an unkind way. So those are the 4. Now let's go through those. So number 1, I don't know if you've heard this quote, perhaps you have, that we are literally the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So surrounding ourselves with positive, uplifting people can make all the difference. In the role of a teacher that I've had the privilege of having for over 20 years, I always say that the teacher believes in the student until they believe in themselves. And I would say as well that that's the same with the people that we surround ourselves with. In our friend group, who is it that is in your inner sanctum that really is contributing to these 5 people and the average of who they are? And is there someone within that inner sanctum that is toxic, that is negative, that is critical, judgmental, that you could remove or limit your contact with and instead spend more time with somebody else that looks at you and sees what a great, amazing person you are in this moment, accepts you unconditionally as you are, this imperfectly perfect, beautiful human being? Or when we surround ourselves with people that are constantly critical and judgmental, we are closing a feedback loop in our brain that if we're struggling with self-esteem says, look, they believe this about me too. And then that is a downward spiral. So really look at those people that you're surrounding yourself with and ask yourself if these are the very best people that could be in that inner sanctum. And if they're not, then you have a choice to change those people out. And if you're saying, I don't have that many friends, and then it's better to have fewer friends that are more positive, uplifting, and believe in you than it is to have more friends or acquaintances that have a negative viewpoint, or that you feel in competition with, or they're constantly comparing what you do and what you have and what you look like with what they have, do, or look like. So that's number 1. Such a healthy habit to just detox our friend list and really make sure that you are surrounding yourself with the very best people possible. Number 2, keeping promises. So it's interesting. Let's say if you say to yourself, I'm going to work out 3 times this week. I'm going to go to the gym and work out for 3 times. And then you do it. You do work out 3 times. You're giving your brain a message that you are trustworthy, that you can be believed. You are somebody that keeps your promises from yourself to yourself. And from that, you feel more safe and more sovereign, and your self-esteem rises up. Now, on the other hand, If you say, I'm going to work out 3 times this week, and then you stay on the couch and watch Netflix and you don't work out, but you promised you would, your brain receives a message saying that you are not trustworthy. It is not safe to be with you. You cannot be believed. And that unpredictable nature of that sort of scenario is a recipe for low self-esteem. So keeping your promises from yourself to yourself and making them realistic, of course, but keeping the promise gives your brain the feedback that it can believe you. And when you feel like you have self-trust, it immediately helps your self-esteem rise up. That you are somebody that keeps your promises from yourself to yourself. So look at where in your life you've been breaking those promises. And can you write down right now 3 things that you can promise yourself to do this week? It could be, I'll drink a glass of water each day. It could be, I'll do 5 push-ups every time I go to the bathroom. It's the tiny habits, right, that help give us that feedback. So it doesn't have to be enormous things. And if it is working out 3 times or going for a walk, 2 times this week, whatever it may be, write 3 things down. And then every day for a week, check in and see how you feel at the end of the week. And if it's buoyed your self-esteem, that you now feel like you can trust yourself, you can believe yourself, and that your word is gold. Then the 3rd habit to raise up self-esteem is to stay true to your values. What is most important to you? What are your non-negotiables? And staying true to your values means being authentic to what you want for your life. So for example, if you've created a pattern and a situation where I went to this college because I knew it would make my parents happy. I married this person because I knew that my family and society thought that this was a really good match. I am accepting lots and lots of extra work to do in my job because I want to make my boss happy. I want my colleagues to think that I'm a good person. All of these 3 ways are examples of giving away your power and not staying true to your values, not staying true to yourself. So if you're constantly people pleasing, trying to get external validation from others, and you're making other people's opinions more important than your own, and negating what you really want to do and pushing down what you value most for yourself, this will decrease self-esteem. And the more you do it, and the more avenues in your life that you do it, the lower your self-esteem. Because then it will never be enough. Everybody will always be demanding more or referring outwardly from ourselves and our true authentic desires. We can't control what other people want. So it will always be more and more and different, and you'll just feel like you're bouncing around and nothing is good enough. The I'm not good enough, and they don't think I'm good enough. And so then what you'll do is you'll do more and more and more to try to please them and put away your values and what you care about most, which then just creates even lower self-esteem. So look at those places in your life where you're leaking energy, where you're disempowering yourself, and can you right now have a conversation with somebody in your life and say, I adore you, I love you, I appreciate you, I'm grateful for you, whatever those words are, but I need to make some choices for myself and for my happiness and what I believe in and what I value most right now. And it may not be an exact match to what you want for me, but I'm going to prioritize myself and my happiness right now. But I'm so grateful to you, and I want you in my life, and I appreciate who you are. Try to have that conversation so that you can take back the power and grow your self-esteem instead of constantly throwing out your values and what matters most to you for what other people want you to do, right? This is your one life, so live it. Live it fully on your own terms. Authenticity is the way to self-esteem and maintaining it. And then finally, how we speak to ourselves, internal self-talk. If you can make it more gentle, more loving, more easeful, more positive, this is such a boost to self-esteem and a healthy habit to get into. Now, one of the reasons that I love meditation and yoga and mindfulness practices is that it's cognitive behavioral therapy. They show how we talk to ourselves. So for instance, in a yoga pose, like you're balancing on one leg and you fall out of it, like a tree pose. Well, if you say to yourself, I'm an idiot, everybody else is so good at this pose, I can't believe I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I can't believe that everyone else has an easier time of me, I must just be really bad, then that sort of self-talk, that knee-jerk reaction, is something you want to see. If that's how you talk to yourself, at the first sign or any sign of falling out of something, right? Of hitting an obstacle, of not meeting a particular metric. And then another example with meditation is when we sit and you're just anapanasati, you're just watching your thoughts. You're not engaging with your thoughts. You're not trying to solve anything. You're not trying to put other thoughts in there. You're just watching your thoughts. It's the first form of meditation. Just sit and observe. Witness your mind. And in the witnessing, you'll see the spectrum of thoughts like clouds in the sky that are appearing in your mind. So again, it's cognitive behavioral therapy. You can do something because you are aware of what it is and how you're speaking to yourself. It starts with self-awareness. If you have no idea how you're speaking to yourself and yet why you feel low self-esteem, yoga and then meditation, just sitting, even a minute a day, 2 minutes a day, will really make a difference to allow you to see the patterns that you've created mentally. And now the good news is that you can change those mental patterns. And 80% of the words we speak and what we say today are the same as yesterday. So we are very habituated. So therefore it's important to know what the habit is, to see where we need to up level it and improve our positive self-talk and be more gentle in the way that we talk to ourselves in general. And mindfulness practice is just this all-day alertness to the art of paying attention, that you are awake to what is happening right now and that you're not falling into the past and bemoaning the way that things worked out, belittling yourself for what you didn't do, what you did do that you thought was wrong or not good enough, but staying stuck in the past. And then equally, when you spend all this time rehearsing the future with worry and agitation and anxiety, like, I hope I'm gonna be okay, I hope I'm gonna do this right, and I have to do this perfectly, and going through all the scenarios of how it might not work. This too is a recipe for low self-esteem. Staying in the past, rehearsing the future. So mindfulness is the art of paying attention right here, right now, and just being in the present moment. And this is where your self-esteem is always a blessing and the highest, because this is the moment that we're in. This is where happiness is found, in this moment. So these are the 4 habits that I encourage you to implement into your life, starting today, to increase your self-esteem. An exercise for this 4th one is to write down scripts, literally words to say every morning. I like to write them on note cards or in a journal, and then I open that up, or I get my note cards and I read those to myself first thing in the morning. Even before I meditate, I read those cards or my journal, and I practice those positive affirmations, those positive thoughts towards myself, from myself, so that my mind is getting practiced at that sort of pattern of staying positive, uplifting, supportive from myself to myself. So try it and see if that makes a difference as well to your self-esteem. But these 4 things are essential to keeping your self-esteem buoyed, and that you are an active participant, and that is your own life story unfolding every moment. And it's so much sweeter when you have higher self-esteem to enjoy this amazing human experience. No matter the obstacles, for every obstacle can be also seen equally as an opportunity. From my heart to your heart, to the heart of the universe, may you love yourself, love your day, and love your life. And if inspired, I would be so grateful if you would click below and subscribe to my channel. That is a game changer for me. So have a beautiful day, much peace and love to you all.